Good morning. How are we? Welcome back. I'm just going to do my secretarial duties here, my executive accomplice duties here. Now, let me see if that worked. Did I actually spell everything? Oh, I did. Look at that. All righty then. It's pretty exciting this week. We have got a couple of things going on that are ground shakingly exciting. And on top of that, so cake, icing, cherry, it's episode 299 today. 299. You know what that means on Thursday, but we won't go there. So I want to talk about magic today. Good morning, Daniel. It's nice to see you. So I want to talk about the magical people today. And I don't mean the ones who manage to pull rabbits out of everything all the time. I mean the people who, for some reason, no reason whatsoever, zero, zilch reason, they just kind of wake it up for us. They're magical. They're magical for us. And there's lots of schools of thought, and people are talking about energy and spirit guides and all that stuff, and it's all fascinating. This is something else because they're not magical for everybody. They just seem to be magical for us. And when I was thinking about doing this episode, I was thinking about some of the kids on the show, and I was thinking about some of the people in my life, and I was thinking about some of the people in my past, and the things in my life, the experiences in my life. Some of them were, well, we did not see any of those coming, and the others were and are kind of wonderful. And I think we owe it to ourselves to look for those, to pay attention to those. We have to stop staring, down at our tie caught in our zipper. We have to look around and out because they're there. And I made a list the other day, and I thought, oh yeah. And it's not necessarily that they represent how much trouble we got into that no one knew about. It is that we just have the best time with them. Even if it is getting lost on a highway in the rain and hoping we reach the destination on time. For some reason, they just are it, aren't they? Well, good morning, Kelly. Another show of wonderful advice from you. Well, maybe. We certainly hope so. So I'm standing on the very edge of something quite extraordinary, and it happened in the way that extraordinary things happen. It just kind of, I turned my head just enough, and there it was. This little opportunity standing at the door with its little suitcase going, "Hi, here I am." And holy crap doodles, kids. In my entire life, I've never had a team of people. I've brought in mercenaries to help me ad hoc, depending on my campaign. I've never before said, we're going to need a much bigger boat. We're going to need a lot of oars, rowed to do this, to pull this off. However, it's not difficult. I don't think it's difficult. I think it is incredible. And every single person that I've reached out to, and they've said, and they're in. They're in. And, back in the day, I had trouble getting an agent. Agents said I was difficult to work with. I can't imagine why. And difficult, and they would much rather work with somebody who was a little more benign. And they didn't. And why do people always want you? And I don't know. I'm a Viking, and they just struggle with it. And in some jobs, there would be someone, somebody in the tech part, somebody in the running the place. One of the clients would have control issues. We all have control issues, but control issues in that, why are you so cheerful? And why is it always like this? Did you not know it's raining outside? And I said, boy, did I not know it's raining outside? Not only is it raining outside, my dog threw up on the rug right before I left the house. So yeah, the thing is, we choose. And this is, I think, the decision that I've been talking about with my crew. And we are all accomplices in this together. And I'm saying, We have this opportunity. And my intention is to seize it and run like the wind, like my pants are on fire, because I think it's going to do stuff. I think it's going to create a momentum. And I think it might be the thin end of the lemon wedge that you slide into as a doorstop to help people resist the urge to close the door and give up and say, well, it's not that bad. And it's really not. And you think, why would you go through your life like that? I had a long conversation the other day with Dewey, and then I had another conversation with Gary and another conversation. And we're all talking about the same thing. We're talking about people's hunger for something more fun. And at the same time, their reluctance to step out of the discomfort zone because it's familiar, and familiar feels safe. But it's also ho-hum, same old, same old. The other day, one of the best things that people say to me that just makes me smile all over my face is when they say, wait till you get to be my age. And I say, I doubt very much that that's ever going to happen. I'm not talking years. I'm talking mood, attitude, energy, drive, desire, ambition, goals, seeking, fun, happy. Look at that. What is that, a horizon? All right then. And I think some of us are wired that way on purpose. We just are. We come into the world saying, what's next? And what if? And others are not. Others are, they're more reluctant. They're more, people spend too much, I'm reading Daniel's comment. People spend too much time looking down at their phones. Look up and enjoy the world around you. Daniel, you've brought something up. Thank you, my friend. This is part of the joy, and this is part of the fun and the magic. I have only recently stumbled upon this world within which there are millions, Dewey has informed me, of people. And it's the unforgettables in search of the unforgettable. It is the nostalgia people. It is the collectors and the collectibles and the excitement in finding a treasure you remember from a special time. And I'm a military kid, as I go on and on about it, and not to separate myself, but to help people understand that some of us are coming late to the party. It doesn't mean we're not keen. It doesn't mean we didn't bring a present and we're not looking forward to cake. It means that we came late. And, I was talking to Gary last night and he was saying, how it is in high school when you this and this and this. And I said, no, I don't. And there was this thundering silence on the phone. And he said, what? Don't tell you, you went to high school. And I said, oh yeah, I went to high school. I went to a bunch of high schools. I went to a lot of high schools. Right after I went to a lot of elementary and middle school stuff. So I don't know this phenomenon of which you speak. So if you're going to preface something that we need to share and talk about and think about as a strategy, you need to understand that I'm the new kid on the block. I have no idea, no context. And he said, well, that's kind of freeing, isn't it? I said, it absolutely is. I'm not carrying the burden of years and years and years of whatever. I'm carrying briefly the burden of the last 20 minutes. And then I have to put it down because tide is turning. It's time to go. And it's not that I'm advocating that we don't cherish our memories, because I certainly talk about them all the time. I certainly post all the time about the thing I did here and the thing that happened there, because they're fabulous. The reason they're fabulous, as Dewey and I have discussed, is that they're unforgettable. They shape us. They take us as we're going this way and they say, no, and we're that way. They are our Pivotry in motion trigger for the next bit of magic around the corner. And if we are completely engrossed in our phones, we miss it. We miss it. So Daniel brought it up, and I want to talk about it, and I want to talk about it in a way that makes a little more sense. It's not the fault of the people who are looking into their phones. It's the fault of the process by which we instruct people to give us a minute because we're doing this and it takes priority. Everybody has to do that. Everybody has to say, oh, honey, you're here. Give me a hug. I just have to finish this one quick thing and then I'm all yours. Or we say, I'm on the phone now. Go and start your home. Mommy's busy. Same thing. Different delivery. Different outcome. At a time when the economy changed drastically in the 1970s and 80s, and all of a sudden both parents were working, there was a generation of latchkey kids. And we all know about them because they all watched our shows. The reason for You Can't Do It on Television success, the reason for the success of Care Bears, the reason for the success of Teddy Ruxpin is that we were the secret friends of those latchkey kids. They gravitated to us because the kids on the show felt like they did. Oh, Mom. They felt like that. They were like that. And the kids watching the show said, right, right, because they felt rejected, abandoned, less than essential. No magic, zero, none. The magic was watching somebody not know slime was coming, in spite of the fact that we all know slime is coming. We loved them when they didn't know that they were going to get watered, even though we all knew they were going to get watered. We loved how smart they were, even though they didn't know those prompts, right? We loved how dumb the parents were and the adults, the rest of the adults on the show. We loved that. Why? Because it spoke to us, we who were set aside and told, not now. And no parent in their right mind speaks to their child like that on purpose. They're just juggling too many flaming chainsaws, and they haven't got the ability, the drive, the prioritizing to put at least 7 of them down. Granted, there's a lot of chainsaws, but you know what? There will always be more flaming chainsaws. We need to figure out how to cherry pick. And I think the magical people in our lives help us with that. Because I know for a fact, when I'm in the presence of one of my magical people, time disappears. And I'm grinning like an idiot. And so are they. Because it's wonderful. And is it an energy? Is it a frequency? Are they an angel? I don't think so. Are they? Whatever they are, whatever that chemistry is, there's no need to look at our phones. We forget that. We don't need to take ourselves away from an experience that we know is going to abandon us, that we know is going to make us feel less than. So to Daniel's point, the reason at these fanatic cons, these comic cons, these get-togethers, these member groups, these unforgettables, the reason they're so incredible to experience, and my first one ever was in 2019. Cliff Caporal, hey, Abby, I got a spare booth. You want it? Sure. What does it do? Say yes, figure it out later. And then it was pretty crazy. And nobody was walking around looking at their phones. Why? Because it was magical. There was so much stuff coming at them. And they're walking around looking at this superhero and that villain and this magical special effect. And all of a sudden they're staring at the lockers from You Can't Do That on Television. And Mom right there. And the one who had the best reaction of all of them was Darth Vader. Walking up with all of his people, the music is like dun 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 dun, walking, turns, waves, everybody's taking pictures, waves, sees the lockers, stops dead, and 7,000 stormtroopers and Jawas walked up at the back of him. Boom, 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 boom. My guys run over, whisper in Darth's accomplice's ear, come running back and say, he'll be by later for pictures. So what is magical about Abby, Mom, the lockers, and Darth Vader standing in a spot together, defying all reasonable logic in terms of entertainment genre, defying all the gods? And we had draped him in a lime green feather boa because, by the way, slime green, and he thought it was wonderful until we took it off him, and his robe feather magnet, and Greg had used up two full lint rollers getting all the feathers off. Darth looks at me and he says, I have something to tell you. And I thought, oh no, he's going to say it. He's going to say it. I can't believe he's going to say it. And he said, I am your biggest fan. And I burst out laughing because I said, I thought you were going to tell me you were my father. He's laughing. But he's got the voice thing. He's laughing, but he's laughing. So this is what I want to say today. And I don't want to, I want this to be really short today. I figure if Dewey can talk about an entire drive-in in 60 seconds, I can at least try and get this down. I want to say that there are magical people out there. And they are our magical people. And it's not that they're waiting for us. They're doing their thing. They're walking their talk. And yet a part of them is waiting for us. And maybe out there are people waiting for us. Maybe we are someone's magical person. So I think what we probably want to do for ourselves, pure selfishness, total selfishness, is pay attention. And when we get that little spidey sense that that's different, that makes me grin, I think we should lean in. I really do. I think we should lean in, grab onto it, and run like the wind. Run like we stole it. Because we never know how long we have, right? So I'm going to cut this very short today, and you're going to wonder what on earth just happened. But I have some incredible stuff happening today and tomorrow after that, and I have to prep for it. So I look like I know what I'm doing. Before I go, I just want to tell you that sometimes we need support animals. We need support stuff. We need support magic to attract the magic. And I want to show you one of mine. So this, and I haven't introduced him before. This is my this is my emotional support skunk. And I haven't named him yet. And he's very squishy because he is a squishy. And I just have him on random chairs in the apartment. When people come for meetings and he's in a different place all the time, people say, where is he? Where is he? Where's what? Where's who? I don't have anybody here. Come on, where's the skunk? Oh, I don't know. So this is so we need to name him. We need to name him. He's perfect and he's wonderful and he's the right kind of support for sometimes we need support. He's a skunk. So that's the first one. And he's adorable. I mean, do we see the resemblance? Okay, that's one. And the other one is a little more in keeping with who I really am. Where is it here? Yes. Don't make me bring out the hammer. This is my other support animal. All right, loves. I will see you on Thursday. In the meantime, between now and then, be good to you. You are magical. And remember to hug your loved ones. They deserve you too.